Hi everyone, my name's Teddy, and in this video we're going to be going through how you can use a VA to supercharge your Amazon business, and we'll be going through exactly what tasks you can get a VA to do in your business. Now, when I speak to a lot of colleagues or people I know in the Amazon world and I tell them that I've got a virtual assistant, they often think, how can you afford it? You know, having an employee can cost quite a lot of money. Virtual assistants come from all over the world. It doesn't have to cost you anywhere near as much money as you think, with virtual assistants starting from about $5 an hour for someone who is quite new to upwards from that when they've got a bit more experience. And they don't necessarily need to be full-time at the beginning. So getting someone on a part-time basis to run certain parts of your Amazon business can be a really good way to take time off your hands so that you can start working on your business and not in your business. And I've kind of ordered them in the sort of seniority I think that person would need. So the ones at the end are the ones that I think you need someone who might have more experience or be a bit more specialised to do. So hang around to see that order. So let's go through the 5 areas of your Amazon business where I would hire a VA, starting with the one that I think is the easiest to get going with and the one that will save you the most amount of time, and that is admin. Now, admin is horrific. Like, we've all got so much admin going on, there's all got so many tasks, you never know which ones to prioritize, and you can feel a bit overwhelmed. I know I do in my Amazon business. So admin can be something that could help you out loads. Now, in an Amazon business, the sort of admin that you can get VAs to help you out with are account setup or managing cases in Amazon. These are two quite basic ones that can take you quite a lot of time, and you have to remember where you are with each of the individual cases or where you are with your Amazon application process. And talking about setting up, I found getting set up with things like Helium 10 is quite difficult sometimes. It takes a lot of time to set up your keywords that you're going to track, or it could be take a lot of time to set up your profits so that it's making sure it's tracking all of your products and all of your cogs correctly. So I use my VA to help me set this all up to save me time doing that. And once they've got used to that, it's also a great way to teach them how to use the tool like Helium 10, so that later on when they want to take on more tasks, they already know how to use the tool. So it's a really good way to get them into the tool, is to help them get you set up with it. Another thing that I like to use VA for from the admin side is more of the back-end non-Amazon stuff, like managing my emails and calendars. Now, a lot of emails I get, maybe they're from customers or from freelancers, I will get my VA to check them first and to go through it to see if there's anything that I need to do. And if it's quite a simple task, I actually get them to respond to those emails themselves. And you know, you can create SOPs for a lot of these responses. So if it's something like a freelancer getting in touch and wants to know when you're going to pay them, you already have an SOP for that, telling them that you do your accounts or you do your payments at the end of every week. So it's a really good way to get your virtual assistant taking time off your hands so that you can concentrate on other things in your business. Now, one of the things that a lot of Amazon sellers get people to help with their business at first is customer service. Now, if you're doing FBA, then customer service isn't going to be as important for you because Amazon do a lot of the speaking to the customer. But if you've got a product that is quite technical, say it's something electronic or there's lots of other options on the market, and a customer has a question about how something works, these sort of customer queries, then a VA could help take a lot of that work off your hands. Because you know, a lot of these emails from customers or a lot of these questions from customers, they're all asking the same thing really. They all just want to know how it works, or how easy is it to get set up, or what's the colour like, or any of these sort of questions. So if you do get a lot of questions from customers, then set up SOPs with responses so that you can get the virtual assistant answering these questions for you. I also like to get my virtual assistant tracking refunds. Now, you've probably seen this, especially if you're an FBA seller, where you get a refund and then you don't know if that refund's come in or not. Well, if the customer doesn't send the refund in 28 days, or however long it is they've got for that product, then Amazon is meant to actually reverse that refund and give you the money back. Now, Amazon being Amazon, they don't always do this. So sometimes you might want to get your virtual assistants to track these returns for you to see if a product actually has been returned to the warehouse, and maybe if that product is still sellable. Now, there's a tool that I like to use called Getida, and there's a link to that in the comments of this video. But Getida kind of goes into your Amazon account and finds refunds for you, so it does a lot of this VA work for you. So I actually have my virtual assistant working with Getida to give them everything they need, because sometimes they ask for extra documentation. The third thing that I think a virtual assistant can really help you with is research. Now, this could be product research in your business, or it could be doing market research to find new products. Any of these things that are research based, virtual assistants are often really good at them. Now, a lot of the virtual assistants that I've hired before have actually had degrees and things like that. So when I speak to them, they're already way better at researching things than I am. So it's actually worth getting them to do these research tasks, because you might be surprised with the quality of the work. I always do try to set parameters for them, and the more they get to know your business, the more likely they are to find products for your business that could be a good fit. But as long as you're quite specific with the tasks you're giving them, I've found that virtual assistants can be a really good way to do product research for you, or at least if you've had an idea to start digging a bit deeper into a niche using something like Pinterest or Trend Hunter. Another thing you can get them to do, which is going to save you loads of time, is finding suppliers. Now, if you've had this product idea, speaking to people on Alibaba can take quite a long time. So if you set out roughly what your profit margin is going to be and what sort of shipping terms you expect, you could get a virtual assistant to speak to these suppliers. A good thing about getting a virtual assistant from somewhere like the Philippines is that a lot of the suppliers are in India or China, so their time zones match up quite well. So especially if you're in America and you find yourself having to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to try and speak to a supplier in China, no one really wants to do that. So get a virtual assistant from the Philippines to help you with this, and it might save you a lot of time. And you might be surprised with the results. The fourth thing that I like to get my virtual assistant to help me with is operations. Now, this is actually the first area of my business that I got a virtual assistant to help me with, because I find operations, I haven't got like a very operational brain sometimes. I find things like shipping and tracking and spreadsheets quite boring sometimes. Maybe you're the same, I don't know, I found those quite boring. But when I'm thinking about operations, in my business, I had a lot of shipments being sent to Amazon, especially since coronavirus. There's been a lot of stock not being able to get sent into Amazon because of shipping limits. You might have had a lot of stock in third-party warehouses and things like that. I had a virtual assistant help me a lot with these shipments. So there's a couple of different shipments you can get them to help you with. Obviously, you've got the shipments from like China to America or the UK or wherever you're selling your stuff. You've also got shipments from third-party warehouses into Amazon's FBA warehouses. If you're fulfilled by merchant seller, then you've got all the shipments to the customers directly. All of this stuff needs managing. And on top of all of that, all of those shipments, you also need to manage your stock. Now, managing your stock is quite a complicated thing in Amazon sometimes. You might have stock on a boat, in China, in a warehouse in Texas, in FBA all over the country. Sometimes you've got some in your house. Create a tracker that tracks where all this stuff is, and you could get a really operational minded virtual assistant to help you keep a track of where all of your stock is. This is what I did, it helped me loads, and it's one of the first things that you can do in your business to really get a virtual assistant to help you out. And the fifth thing that you can get a virtual assistant to help you out with is marketing. Now, the reason I've left this till the end is because this is the most specific or senior of the tasks that you can get a virtual assistant to help you with, because marketing is quite complicated. And it might be, if you're doing something like marketing, you might want someone who is more of a marketing specialist virtual assistant to help you out. As marketing is a real serious job. People hire big agencies to do this sort of thing. So you don't want to just let someone who doesn't know much about your business run wild. And there's a few different areas of marketing that I get my virtual assistants to help me with. Firstly, there's advertising and PPC. This could be Facebook advertising, Google advertising, or Amazon's PPC. Now, it is quite complicated, PPC. I don't love it that much, and it can be difficult to get your head around. So if you are going to do this, maybe think about a virtual assistant who is more specifically analytical or is very good at looking at advertising, or maybe you could hire someone who is more in advertising already. Now, a virtual assistant in this area is going to be a bit more expensive, but it will be worth it because it will save you loads of time and money in the long run. Another great thing you can do is get them to help you with social media. Now, I hate social media. I find it quite boring taking Instagram posts and stuff like that. But my virtual assistant loves doing Instagram posts for me and for my business, and it does actually drive some traffic. I even put them on a course, like an Instagram course and a Pinterest course, to teach them how to do Instagram marketing and how to track it. And they created really great trackers for me, showing me all of my KPIs, such as how many followers I've got, from how many people went to Amazon from my different social media accounts, all of this sort of stuff you want to track. And they made a tracker for me so that I can keep on top of it all. And that helped me out a lot. And the last thing you can get a virtual assistant to help you out is writing your listings, updating your listings, creating your Amazon store pages, managing your image creation, all of these sorts of marketing things. Now, this can be difficult as well, because obviously you want your brand voice to be really on brand, and you want all your pictures to also be really on brand. So this might be something that you build up to, getting them to help you out with this. On top of that, they obviously need to speak perfect English. So make sure when you interview them, you're speaking to them to understand how good their English is. So that's it. Those are 5 areas that I like to hire virtual assistants for. I don't think you could hire one virtual assistant for all of those things. And my one piece of advice would be to find the pain points in your business or in the way that you operate your business and see what you're spending most of your time on. And when you're doing that, maybe take a list of the things you're doing throughout the day and work out if you can get a virtual assistant to help you out doing those. I wouldn't get one virtual assistant to do operations, marketing, administration, customer service. Like, you're going to get someone who's going to be way too thin on the ground, just like you are, and not be able to do any of those tasks. Work out what it is that you need a virtual assistant to do and hire one of them to do that job. Now, there's some great places to find virtual assistants like Upwork or Fiverr, or if you're looking for country-specific virtual assistants, there's one like onlinejobs.ph. There's loads of places out there that you can find virtual assistants to help you out. But it's a really good thing to help you supercharge your business. Now, I love talking about this topic. I've hired some really, really great VAs from like the UK, from Philippines, from Europe, from all sorts of places. So if you have any questions about hiring a VA or what I get them to do in my business, then leave a question in the comments and I will get back to you. But I hope you found that helpful, the overview of what I get virtual assistants to do in my business, and I will see you on the next video.